Alright, well, hi, I'm Scott from WeForgot, and I made the unfortunate mistake of erasing my hard drive full of a bunch of settings. Luckily, not everything was actually lost. I found, luckily, my last settings for both of my controllers, my Cuneo and my Soft Step by Keith McMillan. The settings ended up being saved. I didn't think they were saved at first. But what was not saved was the settings to my SooperLooper. And I had a lot of keys that were binded through the years to try to control this looper that I have, SooperLooper. It's a great looper. It really is versatile. It's sort of modeled after those DL4s or D4Ls. I think it's DL4. Anyway, the line green one that you see like Reggie Watts use, and Andrew Bird, and a couple other people, a lot of other people. But I'm able to do a lot of the same kinds of stuff. I'm able to do the 2 times speed. I'm able to do the half speed. I can do anything in between. I can reverse. I can even do like scratches and sort of go to different positions of the loop, which I don't really utilize. But one of the issues was, over the years, I have made a bunch of bindings, and I now have to redo all the bindings. It could be sort of good, though, because if I redo them the right way, I might actually streamline things a little bit more. So that is what I'm here to do today. So first things first, we have to make it so that I can actually control the MIDI within SooperLooper. And the way that works is you have to get a program, MIDI Patch Boy. Other programs that you're going to need to download, you're going to need to get SooperLooper, MIDI Patch Boy, and then you're also going to want to get this is for the Mac version. I know that there's SooperLooper other ways, but you need Jack Pilot, and you'll also need a way to virtually send tracks from your DAW to SooperLooper, and the way that I do that is with SoundFlower. And I think that I've at times used Noise Blossom, but right now I'm using SoundFlower 64 channel in, 64 channel out. It does all the stuff I need it to do. But I'll show that more in another video. Right now it's just setting up and starting to program the controls the way that you want them. So first things first is I've got MIDI Patch Boy. I have to make it so I've added a bunch of new ones. I'm going to save this because I was working on it. Cool. And now I'm just going to make a new one. Not worry about that for a second. So right here I've got all of the different controllers that are recognized by my computer right now being plugged in. I've got my MPK Mini, which is just my little keyboard, and then I've got my Cuneo and my Soft Step, which I showed you. It also is showing up SooperLooper out, so I am able to interact with SooperLooper with these. And so I want to take the input of the device. So in this case, I'm going to start with programming my Cuneo, and I am going to take SooperLooper in. And again, you can go the opposite way too. You could actually take the out of SooperLooper and push it into the controllers, which might actually be able to show some physical lights and stuff within the Cuneo. I actually haven't really messed around too much with that, so maybe I will. We'll see what that is able to produce. Next up, though, so right now I'm just programming. I know that my controllers are already set up the way that I want them to be set up, so it's just making it so everything is set. There's a couple different ways to do that. One is to go straight into the preferences of SooperLooper and then go over to the MIDI bindings page. From there, you have the choice of all kinds of different commands, which is great. And you can have multiple commands pressed by single buttons, which is really helpful. And some of my better programming is actually going to be that kind of stuff, which I will try to also show. But right now, let's just do the basics. So right now, I want to make it so that I can do some volume stuff. So this is one way to be able to do it. There's the wet volume. The way, though, that I'm going to do it is going to make it a little bit easier right now, just for at least the basic controls, and then I'll go in and fine-tune them a little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to right-click, and I'm going to go Learn MIDI Binding. And then all I have to do is press the button that I want that to be. That was actually the wrong one. So I'm going to go Learn MIDI Binding. I'm going to try to learn the MIDI binding for that. But I don't want it to. Well, that might be an issue with learning it that way. So now both those are going to be... Well, that sort of worked, but that wasn't the control that I wanted. So now I got to go to preferences, I got to remove that. Boom. It's as easy as that. Usually, though, I've had issues where I haven't been able to erase MIDI bindings before. It's one of the things that luckily I'm going to be able to fix now. So, learn MIDI binding, boom. Right click, learn MIDI binding. And I've set these to not compete with anything else that I have running within Reason, which is the DAW that I use. And then learn MIDI binding. Oops. Learn MIDI binding. Cool. I'm going to make the diamond record because I'm going to want to record quicker from reaching these. So that's my reasoning for that. Now, this is going to be an interesting way I'm going to do this. So I'm going to make it overdub for this, but then I'm going to tell it to do it the way that I like it. So I'm going to say learn overdubbing. Actually, that's going to be the play button. So record is that. And then, so boom, that's record, but reference. So I want that to only be selected, and I want to modify that. So now, when I have this selected, boom, it records that. That selected, boom, it records that. And that selected, boom, it records that. Ta-da! And next was the overdub, which I want to act the same way. I want it to be selected. I'll modify that. So now overdub is the same way. And overdub. And mute. And mute. We have it all figured out from there. So that is the basics for programming control with SooperLooper. That was for my Cuneo controller. The next controller I'm going to move on to is my soft step. I'll try to make this a shorter video. But same kind of thing is going to be going on. Soft step has a little bit more complicated settings. I can do double presses, I can do long presses. I've programmed a lot of that stuff. It's a little bit harder to do the MIDI key binding because you would have to like tell it to, like if I hit the button once, it's going to send the command, and the first command, and if I want it to get the second command, I sort of have to know it. I've been able to sometimes get lucky and like hit it twice, or hit it once, hit the learn button, and then hit it again. But that doesn't usually work. So I'm really lucky that my settings did not get lost. I'm able to just look at all of these. You can see that my double trigger is sending out the command 93 on channel 3. So this should be actually pretty fairly easy.